Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So here's another deck profile update. This time it's on my zombie deck, so this is post-January 2020 ban list. So I did mention that my last list was kind of a temporary list until I got my dangers, and thankfully I got all the dangers I was looking for. Now sadly Nessie did go to 1, but that's perfectly fine. The danger engine is still very viable. In fact, it works so well with this deck because you can turbo out a lot of cards like Curious, for example. Like Curious definitely helps out this deck's consistency. I've been meaning to play Curious for a good while, just didn't have the dangers because again they help you turbo into it. So now I made quite a lot of alterations to my main deck as well as my extra deck just to make this deck like as powerful as I possibly can. It's a really fun strategy. There's a lot of broken combos you can do with this. So I'll just let you guys figure it out from here and let's go and get started. So starting off with the main deck, I'm still playing 3 Shiranui Solitaire. Definitely need this card because it gives you access to Unizombie or any of your other tuners. But your primary target's going to be Unizombie at all times. Which comes to our next card, 3 copies of Unizombie. Helps you dump your zombies to the grave and adjust levels too. So like Shiranui and Unizombie together just make a 1-card Cyframe Lord Omega. 2 copies of Doom King Balor Drak. An amazing card, but what sucks is that, like, in fact, I played this at my locals the other day. But Balderok cannot chain with himself, so like if your opponent controls one as well, you can't chain off of his negation. So like I was like, man, that really sucks. So like that makes the mirror matches so annoying. So like it's really a game of who can get Balor Drak out first. Next, 2 copies of Necroworld Banshee. Just gives you instant access to your zombie world, so you definitely need a runner at least at 2. I don't recommend 3. 2 copies of Glow Bloom, just helps you get access to your Doom King Balor Drak faster, or your Vampire Furline, depending on which card you need out more, which comes to our next card, Vampire Furline. She's already a hand trap in and itself, so definitely helps. 3 copies of Mizuki. I actually not running Kazuki in this build just because I didn't find the need for him. So, but Mizuki for sure at 3 because you definitely need him in the graveyard. He's your monster reborn, so it really helps out. Now for my spicy tech choices, I'm running 1 Armageddon Knight, 1 Dark Grepher, and Dark Grepher was really what's cool about him is that since he discards a level 5 or higher monster, so if you have one of your dangers, you can actually get the benefits of the dangers. But you generally use him to send out our next card, Destrudo. And Destrudo is really nuts because, that's a good way he modulates his own levels too, and it's a free special summon, so, and he's a tuner too, so, yeah, I'd give Destrudo a shot, see what you guys think, but with Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher, it's just a good way to bring out your dark monsters. And also, I also like to use the Armageddon Knight and Dark Greffers as ash bait in case, I need to push forward and I can go with something else, so definitely something to look into. I actually did try Crush Cards build with the Armageddon Knight and D-Hero Malicious, which is really nice, but at times it does suck to draw into a second copy of Malicious, so that's why I decided to just go with these guys instead. Alright, so now we're moving on to the Danger package. I'm running 2 of each of the best ones, Jackalope and Tsuchinoko. These 2 are always a body no matter what, so Jackalope's an amazing card, and same with Snake. Of course, you're still going to run the 1 Nessie. It searches out any of your danger monsters. Thunderbird to deal with spells and traps. Bigfoot to deal with monsters. We got 1 copy of the Dark World Dealings monster. And last but not least, Danger Chupacabra. It's a monster reborn for dangers. I've been thinking about running him at 2, but I think 1's just fine, honestly. And that's pretty much it for my monster lineup. I'm not running hand traps because I'm running dangers, because the hand traps could easily be milled and I don't have a way to recur them. So now we're moving on to spells. 3 copies of Zombie World. Still need to run this at 3 since it's kind of a floodgate in and itself. Turns everything into zombies. 3 Instant Fusion, just as an extender. 3 Super Poly since everything's going to become zombies. You can go to Dragon Necro. The 1 Foolish Burial. And only 2 copies of Rivalry of the Warlords. If you can get your opponent into the Zombie World Rivalry lock, you should be in a good spot. Alright, so that's it for the main deck. Now we're moving on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, still running 2 copies of Vampire Sucker. Gives you draw power, so figured why not. Avenged Savior, another good way to dump your zombies to the grave. And it could power himself up, so you send Doom King Balor Drak, and he gains like let's see, 1,600 extra attack points. One barricade board blocker. Decided to go and give this card a shot, and it works pretty well. It's just another Necro Banshee. It protects your zombie world, so yeah. Link Karibo, you got a few level 1s you're going to be playing. Curious, just need 3 monsters of different types but the same attribute. And considering how many darks we run in this deck, that's not hard in the slightest. Boral Sword, just a good way to OTK. For super poly targets, I'm running Dragon Necro, Starving Venom, and this one's kind of both super poly and instant fusion, Mud Dragon of the Swamp. And what's cool about Mud Dragon of the Swamp is that your opponent can't target this card or any monster of its attribute, and you can change his attribute too. So if you call Dark, like if you need to use your normal summon for Unizombie, but you have instant fusion, you can make this, call Dark. Your opponent can't target Dark monsters, so it avoids cards like a Veiler and even Impermanence too. Shaddoll Winda is an instant fusion target. What I like to do with her is, like, if I can get 2 darks of different types, and if I have instant fusion as well, I can make this as my 3rd type, and then just make Curious, bring Shaddoll Winda back toward the end of my combo with Mizuki or something, and basically lock my opponent into, like, the fact that he has to deal with a bunch of zombie monsters, but potentially a card that could just stop them entirely. So yeah. And then lastly, Thousand Eyes Restrict. I'm running very few synchros in this deck, just 3 of them actually. Red Eye Zombie Necro, Cyframe Lord Omega, and last but not least, Borload Savage Dragon. That one's optional. If you don't have access to Borload Savage Dragon, you could run Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend instead, or even if you wanted to, you could actually run like Shogun Saga, but I don't run too many Shiranuis this time around, so that's why I'm not running it. So I think these guys are enough. Or you can also run F.A. Don Drastic too. Alright, so for the side deck, I'm running 3 copies of Nibiru. Still really important in this format. I'm also running Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. Lancia kind of conflicts with this strategy just because, Doom King Balladrog can banish. So that's why I decided to not run it. This card is really funny. Drag Down into the Grave. Works really well with my dangers, so the fact that you can look at your opponent's hand and just discard 1 card and kind of does the same to you, but it's never usually a problem, especially with dangers or the zombies. You can actually get a lot of pluses out of this. 3 Twin Twisters for the back row, as well as 3 copies of Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys again next time.